but yet people like do one or two prompts in AI and it doesn't generate 100% accuracy, and they're all of a sudden like throwing the thing out the window. You know, like especially I hear this from people who are like experts in their craft. Like the example I gave this morning was like an elevator technician who's like, what's the ratio that the pulley needs to be at in order to lift the answer to that? But if you were to upload like documentation and technical specifications and things like that, it's all of a sudden going to be able to actually get you a lot more accurate answers. So all that to be said was that's what we were talking about this morning, which is sort of what you're talking about now. Okay, so one of the things I love that you mentioned was, and I started doing this yesterday for a different idea that I was having. I was in AI, and I guarantee I don't have nearly as sophisticated as a setup as you do. But I was like, normally I go, hey, here's the idea that I have, and I sort of, the thing that I will do is say, I'll get the initial idea and I'll say, ask me questions to help fill out this idea more. And so it'll say, okay, well, are you ever going to have, more users, or are you going to ever have other type of organizational types, like, like just whatever it is. And so it's like, oh yeah, these are good questions that I've never thought about. So then I'll reply and tell it basically, it's like, okay, I've got a really good understanding of the product. And then I'll say, build me a product roadmap. Then that's what I historically I've put into something like V0 or Lovable. What you're telling me is, however you have yours set up, it's basically generating a lot more of a technical roadmap that then in AI that you're essentially copying and pasting into the memory bank here in Cursor, and then from there on out you're using Cursor Agent for everything. Does that sound like about right?
Except I'm copying and pasting, instead of copying and pasting into the memory bank, I'm going straight to Cursor Agent and letting Cursor Agent update everything from here on out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going one by one into everything. You're saying, here it is, update the appropriate
Yep, here's part 1 of my PRD, here's part 2 of my PRD, here's part 3 of my PRD, depending on how big it is. And, implement this into memory bank accordingly. Implement this into memory
Wow.
bank,
Wow.
and I'm
That's
doing
so
each
you
one.
just took it another level. That's incredible.